While the main focus of best DPS is on Calcharo and Gian, many people are overlooking the potential of the cutest character in the game, that is Encore. Encore excels at dealing big damage during her burst window. Encore does have long animations, but there are many animation cancel techs that you can do, which makes her a top tier DPS character. In this video, I will cover everything you need to know about her, including her kit, best echoes, weapons, team synergies, advanced playstyle tips, sequences, and more. Without any further ado, let's jump right into it. Starting with her kit. Most of Encore's attacks can be swap cancelled, which makes her a top tier DPS as she can deal high damage without taking much field time. Her normal basic attacks are just some basic attacks with cute animations. Her charge attack is the most interesting part. While the time she is charging, you can swap cancel it. During the charging time, you can swap to other character and the charge attack will still hit the enemy. Although it is not used currently, but I thought you should know it as in future it might be useful. Moving on to Encore's Resonance skill. Her Resonance skill can be casted twice. She will do a lot of hits when you press it once, and pressing it again when you see a white circle around Encore will unleash a huge blast. This does have a long animation, but guess what? This skill can be swap cancelled as well. You won't get the final blast hit if you swap cancel it, but the initial hits deal a considerable amount of damage. It has a cooldown of 10 seconds. It provides 15 resonance energy, which is quite huge. Her Resonance skill is going to be very crucial to keep Encore's ultimate skill uptime. Now let's move on to her Resonance Liberation. Her Resonance Liberation makes her enter a special state called Cosmos Rampage for 10 seconds. During these 10 seconds, all her abilities are enhanced, which includes her basic attack, heavy attack, resonance skill, and dodge counters. These 10 seconds are her main damage window for Hypercarry Encore, and getting it back on time is crucial. Her basic attacks are now melee and can parry enemies' attacks. Let's move on to her 4-day circuit. Encore's 4-day circuit is filled when her normal attacks, resonance skill, intro skill, or the attacks during her ultimate state hits an enemy, which basically means every part of her kit fills up her 4-day circuit. On using heavy attack when the 4-day circuit is filled, Encore will start charging her heavy attack, get 70% damage taken reduction, and deal a good amount of damage. The animation for this is long, but it can be swap cancelled. You can swap to a different character right when Encore starts charging this attack. Casting this special attack in her Resonance Liberation does the same thing but deals much higher damage, so you would want to use this skill mostly in her burst state. But one thing they forgot to mention in the skill description is that casting this heavy attack will immediately end her Resonance Liberation state, so you would want to use it right when her burst is about to end. More about her combos and rotations later. It can be swap cancelled as well. These damage are considered as Resonance Liberation damage. Her intro skill is just some fusion damage. It restores her 4-day circuit stacks and 10 concerto energy. Her outrow skill is a huge chunk of damage. Triggering her outrow will generate a flame zone around the target, which continuously burns the targets inside, dealing a high amount of damage every 1.5 seconds for 6 seconds. That is a total of 4 times. Encore's first inherent passive increases her damage dealt by 10% during her Resonance Liberation state when her HP is above 70%. In her second inherent passive, Encore's fusion damage is increased by 10% for 10 seconds after using her Resonance skill. Moving on to Encore's talent priority, there's 2 ways we can use Encore. One is as a Hypercarry DPS and the other one is as a Quickswap DPS. Here's a chart showing Hypercarry Encore's damage calculations. Do note that the basic attack damage portion in this chart is from the basic attacks during her liberation state. And since the Resonance Liberation has separate multipliers for all the enhanced skills, it takes the top priority, followed by her 4-day circuit. Then comes the Resonance skill, followed by intro and basic attacks. You can skip the intro skill and basic attacks. The intro skill is not completely wasted, it just doesn't have a significant portion of damage. The basic attack, however, is wasted as you will mostly be using her basic attacks during her ultimate, which has separate basic attack multipliers tied to it. For Quickswap Encore, we will be focusing more on using her Resonance skill and the special 4-day circuit charge attack and swap cancelling it. We will be using the ultimate mostly for enhancing the 4-day circuit attack and for some enhanced skill casts. So the talent priority goes like this: Resonance skill followed by 4-day circuit. Then comes her Resonance Liberation followed by intro skill and basic attacks. Basic attacks can be skipped. Moving on to her sequences. I won't take up much time for this as her sequences are overall pretty bad. She only gets around 30% damage increase from S0 to S6. For her weapons, her best weapon will be available in few hours, that is Yinlin's signature weapon, Stringmaster. This weapon has crit rate, which is amazing and provides damage bonuses and attack increase. Our second best option is another 5-star weapon, Cosmic Ripples. This is a standard banner weapon, provides tons of attack percent, gives energy regen, removing the need for building any energy from echoes, and gives up to 16% basic attack damage bonus. For 4 stars, we have the Augment, which is the Battle Pass weapon. It provides crit rate and attack increase. Jinja Keeper, which is a gacha weapon, is another strong alternative as it provides a lot of attack percent. Our 5 Rectifier of Night is the only F2P we have for Encore, as the craftable one is not a good option. S5 Guardian Rectifier is another 3-star alternative, but only works for Hypercarry Encore. Moving on to her Echo sets. Encore mainly has 2 options, the Molten Rift set that buffs fusion damage, and the Lingering Tunes, which is the second best option for most of the DPS characters. For main Echo skill, Fusion Rider is currently the best Echo skill option. This skill provides basic attack damage buff and fusion damage buff, which is great, but only applies if the final skill lands a hit. It does have good damage multipliers, but is quite slow. The swap cancel can be done during the final hit of this skill. You start by turning into the Fusion Rider. Press the normal attack button thrice and right when the third attack animation starts. You swap cancel it. It can be difficult to do it, but with practice, you will get used to it. The Fusion Rider's animation time lowers her damage by a bit, but it provides a good amount of resonance energy and concerto energy. On the other hand, for the Lingering Tunes set, the Mech Abomination is the best option. It provides attack boost and deals some nice damage. The one thing I love about this skill is that it basically has no animation and doesn't need swap cancel. Alternatively, you can mix and use 2-piece set effects of the Molten Rift and Lingering Tunes. You can also use a mixture of Moonlit Cloud set to meet her energy requirements, if you don't have any energy rolls. The Lingering Tune set is a pretty close option to the Molten Rift in a Hypercarry playstyle where you don't quickswap. But in Quickswap Teams, it gets much worse as this set needs on-field time to ramp up and switching out will clear the buffs. These were her set options. The alternate options can be better if you don't have good echoes of the Molten Rift set. Let's cover her energy requirements before going to her Echo main stats and substats. How much energy regen you need on Encore depends on how you want to play her. For Hypercarry teams, Encore's Resonance Liberation is the bread and butter of her damage, so getting it back on time is extremely crucial. That being said, Encore's abilities provides a lot of energy, so she can get away with as low as 10% energy in most of the cases. But if you want, you can aim for a bit higher, around 20%. For Quickswap teams, Encore's ultimate is not the main focus, so you can even run no energy and get away with it. Now for her Echo stats. You would want to get crit rate or crit damage on the 4-cost Echo. Aim for 50 to 70% plus crit rate. For 3-cost Echoes, double fusion damage is the best, but a combination of 1 fusion damage and 1 attack percent is only 4% behind. Double attack is viable, but is a bit worse. But it's better than nothing. An attack percent on 1-cost Echoes. If you are using 2-piece mix sets, you can even run the 4-4-1-1-1 Echo pattern with double crit. It is a worse option, but easier to farm. For her substats, energy regen until required. Just 1 or 2 substats roll will suffice her energy requirements. Then focus on crit stats, attack percent, basic attack damage percent, and flat attack. Resonance skill damage and resonance liberation damage are also decent substats. For Quickswap teams, resonance skills and liberation damage bonus gets much better. Moving on to her teams. Just a quick reminder, if you are enjoying this video so far, do consider supporting my channel by liking the video and subscribing to it. Leave a comment down below to let me know which character build guide you want next. Hypercarry Encore's best team is with Sanyua and Verena. Sanyua provides 38% basic attack damage, deepen along with some nice personal damage. And Verena, we all know how broken she is as a support. If you don't have Verena, you can swap her out with Baiji. Baiji is a good alternative as she has similar buffing capabilities, but is more restrictive. Jiangxin is a good support. Although her kit doesn't improve the team's damage by much, she can use the 3-star Originite Type 5 Gauntlet. allowing her to trigger the rejuvenating glow set easily and buff the entire team. She can also hold the Bellborn Echo skill. Aside from this, her crowd control is extremely useful against multiple enemies. I will try to make a detailed guide for Jiangxin soon. Mortefi is a decent character that can be used. Even though the heavy attack deepen buff is wasted, Mortefi has some nice off-field damage. Yang Yang can provide crowd control and energy restoration. Here are some of her team examples. Encore, Sanhua, Verena. Encore, Mortefi, Baiji. For Quickswap Teams, you pair her with a second DPS like Calchero, Rover especially with the Dreamless Echo skill, Sanhua, etc. I love the Dreamless Echo skill as it can be easily swap cancelled, making it an amazing pair with Encore. Calchero is also an amazing character to pair with Encore as his Death Messenger can be swap cancelled, allowing for more DPS from both characters. The last slot is Flex that can be used by sustained supports like Jiangxin, Verena, or Baiji. Moving on to her rotations. Starting with her Hypercarry combo. Let's say you are using an Encore, Sanhua, Verena team. You start by swap canceling Encore's skill and fill your support or sub-DPS character's Concerto energy bar by half or more. During this, you can swap to Encore and swap cancel her Resonance skill. Then fill Verena's Concerto bar into Encore's intro skill, then her Echo. Depending on the Echo skill you are using, you can swap cancel it by going to Sanhua. Fill Sanhua's Concerto bar and give the damage deepen buff to Encore. Before casting her ultimate, you can cast her Resonance skill. But it takes up a lot of time, and swap canceling it means the buff from Sanhua will end. If you are using the Mech Abomination Echo skill, you can skip the Echo swap cancel part and use the Resonance skill before using her burst. Swap cancel the skill by going to Sanhua, fill her Concerto and back to Encore. Then cast her ultimate, use her Resonance skill, then 4 basic attacks into her Resonance skill, 4 more basic attacks followed by another Resonance skill cast, and end the rotation with a heavy attack, which will be the enhanced heavy attack from the 4-day circuit. It is really important to swap cancel this heavy attack to keep Encore safe and for more DPS. However, it's not always possible to execute the whole combo as you will be dodging or getting staggered. You need to make sure that you end her rotation with the heavy attack while in her liberation state. There's a visual cue that tells us when the ultimate state is about to end. When you look at the 4-day circuit after using her ultimate skill, you will notice 2 sheep-like symbols. When the ultimate state is about to end, these symbols will start flickering. That's when you use the special heavy attack and swap cancel it. Now after the heavy attack has been released, switch back to Encore and use Resonance skill and swap cancel by going to your other characters. Just make sure to swap cancel wherever necessary. So it goes like intro into Echo skill, then Liberation, then Resonance skill into 4 basic attack into Resonance skill combo twice, and end with the heavy attack. Her quick swap playstyle is quite fun and much safer as you are animation canceling her attacks. Here you use Encore with another DPS or hybrid DPS character. Use Resonance skill, after casting immediately switch cancel it and begin playing another character while Encore finishes the cast in an immune state. Keep using Encore's Echo skill on cooldown. If that Echo is Inferno Rider, make sure to swap cancel it. When Encore's 4-day circuit is filled, perform a charged heavy attack and immediately switch cancel to your next character. If possible, try to make use of Encore's 4-day skill with her ultimate for a large increase to its damage. There's actually a video beautifully showcasing the Quickswap team with Havoc Rover, Encore and Jiangxin by Pridwin Institute. I will link the video in description. And with this, I will end this video. I hope it was helpful. Make sure to like the video and share it further. Subscribe for more Wuthering Waves content. Thanks for watching.